So welcome back to another video. I've done my best to compile, all of the information that we've got over the course of Gamescom so far. No doubt there'll be more videos, but this is the information that we've got so far that I thought was relevant. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. So the first thing so far is that the map has been released. The full map of Assassin's Creed Origins has been released by Ubisoft. So there's a ton of areas we can see, from the sea at the top with Alexandria nearby to the bottom where you've got this huge section of desert and everything that's super far in between. As you can see, this is the full map and it looks freaking awesome. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can go and have a look at it for yourself. And if you want, sort of this in context as to how big the map is, if I zoom in right here, you can see that this is the area that was from the E3 demo, and so everything else is stuff that has not been touched yet. Obviously, we've seen stuff like with the pyramids, but in terms of open world gameplay and everything, that small section that I zoomed in on is the area from the E3 demo, and that's not even a small section. It's still massive in itself. So, this map is going to be freaking huge, along with any other set pieces that we visit. This map is going to be huge, full of tons of quests, so I can't wait to explore it and see what we're going to find within the game. The next thing is a little bit of information regarding Bayek's wife. So this is coming from an article from Game Informer. Of course, all the sources will be linked in the description. And it reads, the previous Assassin's Creed title, released in 2015, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, had two protagonists telling equal parts of the story, as a contrast to every other game following a single character. Assassin's Creed Origins walks backwards on that idea, but not completely. Introduced at Gamescom, Bayek's wife Aya will be playable for certain missions within the game. It also sounds like there will be more playable characters than just Aya and Bayek. And a quote from Ashraf Ismail reads, it is primarily Bayek's story and journey, and this is a decision we made because it was what we came to terms with when we were building this experience, the narrative, the gameplay. This is the experience we wanted to create. So it was a choice that we made not to split the campaign. Having said that, we have other playable characters, we're just not yet announcing who they are. So I guess that kind of throws out the idea of having legacy missions, which is something that I thought we'd have in the game. I mean, it is still possible that, you've got Aya, Bayek, but also legacy missions, but, now I think the idea is possibly not going to happen at all. But we are possibly having other playable characters in the game, and not necessarily just Bayek and Aya. So at this point, it's not necessarily even a thing that Aya's even a playable character. He hasn't confirmed it. However, Game Informer for some reason taken it and been like, yeah, it's confirmed, even though it's not. So it's not actually confirmed at all. He's just sort of alluding to it being a possibility, maybe. But there are a few playable characters that, are going to be alongside Bayek. So not just Bayek, other playable characters, not announced yet. But the way he's talking seems like they might be announced later down the line with future interviews or future announcements before the game's release. So that's interesting. Another thing is lots of new gameplay has been released. I'll leave links in the description to IGN's gameplay, commentated by Ashraf, and Game Informer's non-commentated 24 minutes of gameplay. Bear in mind, the guy who's playing for Game Informer is pure shit. The IGN one I haven't actually watched yet, but I've heard that it has a lot of information in it, which is really, really cool, so I checked both those out, links in the description. And I'm sure we're going to get an influx of gameplay coming from YouTubers coming sometime soon, over the next few days. So keep an eye out for that on YouTube, and I'm sure I'll tweet some out or something. I may be talking about the gameplay later in another video where I'll just commentate over some gameplay, talk about some of the stuff that I like, some of the stuff that I've seen, and just talk about it in general, but I'm not too sure whether I'm going to do that yet, but we'll see what happens. And the last thing, which I think is pretty interesting, is a quote coming from Jean Gouzdon, if that's how you say his name, I'm not entirely certain, the creative director on Assassin's Creed Origins, talking towards the modern day. In this interview, someone asked him about the meta story being the modern day in Assassin's Creed Origins, and it is in French, so it's a little bit difficult to translate, but a few people have said the same thing to me, so I'm going to go with this. And basically what he said was, I like what we have done. We used the best aspects that made the first games memorable and tried to rethink them and refresh them for a better and newer experience. So if you want to check that out, I'll link that in the description, but again, it's in French, so I mean, you can if you want, but you're not really going to understand much unless you are French. And if you are French, let me know. If you can speak both languages, that'd be great. Sick. It's interesting that he's saying, they're using aspects that made the first few games good, because that means that, hopefully, that means playable modern day, possibly, or just the way they're telling the story. Who knows? But I can't wait to see more when the game comes out. Hopefully, they won't tell us anything, and it'll be a surprise when the game comes out, but who knows what they're going to reveal close to the game's release. Anyways, that's it for this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smack that like button because that'd be fantastic. Subscribe to stay up to date on all new things Assassin's Creed Origins. Let me know in the comment section below what was your favorite piece of information. What do you think about the modern day? What do you think about these playable characters? Let me know down below. And with that said, I'll see you all next time.